back to a lecture series on hydrogeology. So, in this lecture, now what we are going to discuss about the relationship of freshwater and saltwater in the ocean islands. Islands like Taiwan, islands like Andaman Nicobar, and how you see, look at that, this is island, and what is the relation between the freshwater and saltwater. So, this is not the normal case when the freshwater and saltwater interface in the normal land terrain like India. There you will be having the issue with respect to only the coastal and land at one side. But for the island, the freshwater and saltwater wedge, the rings, it is there in the bottom of the island. That is the issue. That's why whenever the island comes, that they will be very cautious about the groundwater system. They will not take much groundwater, otherwise this wedge will disturb. Once if this wedge is disturbed, and again the total ecosystem will disturb, and then the island will submerge in due course if you allow the salt water to enter into the aquifer system. So this is the common issue. Now let us see the images here. In this image, which you can see the top of it, you have only the source like the rain. When the rain comes, automatically it goes down, and then when you pump the water, there is the wedge goes up like a cone-like feature. So here we have to be very careful that how the cone-like feature, why it is coming, it is because of the water which you are taking out. Otherwise, this wedge will maintain. Normally, that in Taiwan they have introduced the taxing system because of this issue, water taxing. Because water conscious is very much, very much. The consciousness with respect to the water and to every individual is that very much conscious in the countries like Taiwan. That is the first country which they have introduced the taxing issues. The taxing has come once if you pump huge amount of water. That's how they have arrest the even pumping of water in that area. And what is seawater intrusion or saltwater intrusion? Movement of saline water into the freshwater aquifer is called as saltwater intrusion. Movement of saline water, saline water into the freshwater. This is the freshwater region, and this is the sea level. This is the sea level, and seawater is included here. And the seawater, once if the freshwater is pumped out, what will happen? The seawater will be coming in. So this driven by lowering the aquifer of freshwater level. What is the primary mechanisms behind the seawater intrusion in the freshwater aquifer system? It is subsurface seawater movement. The subsurface seawater movement, lateral large scale intrusion is there in the subsurface seawater movement. Seepage from tidal canal and streams also the cause behind the changes of freshwater movement in this region. Connate upward movement from lower formation also is the another reason for this well withdrawals. Regional long-term changes more important than seasonal. This is here it is regional long-term changes. It means over a period of time, if you continuously pump the water from the ground, what will happen? Automatically the water level will go down, and then seawater will be it is very easy for the seawater is likely to be pumped in. So we have to be very careful in this region for the saltwater intrusion. What are the different factors which controls the extension of intrusion? This is the another ideal condition. You have your island, and then a continuous recharge is there. That's why this is the wedge. This is a freshwater region. This is a seawater region. This is the transition zone. It means this is here your interaction will be more with respect to this both water. This is contact zone rather. Otherwise, this is the lower aquifer in the plain. So it is a reef flat. It is a reef flat plate, and we have lagoon area, and you have a reef. This is another structures where you will be able to having the subsurface aquifer condition in the coastal region. The rate of withdrawal versus freshwater recharge. So this has to be maintained. Rate of withdrawal, it means amount of water which is taken out from this aquifer should be equivalent to the amount of recharge. Otherwise, if this is reverse, if withdrawal is more, automatically the wedge will be disturbed. If freshwater is more, nothing, no issue, because our system or the wedges will maintain if the freshwater recharge is more, but this has to be maintained properly. Similarly, distance of stress from salt water source, it means the salt water source distance. It means you'll have to make your water pumping in the center region, not the near region with respect to the seawater intrusion is concerned. Geological structures, which is very much interesting. Sometimes, not many times, that the structure is controlling the extent of intrusion, like the pore spaces, open spaces, weaker zones, fractures, and other things. Presence of confining unit is also the another important. So why is this a problem? Salt water unfit for human consumption. Yes, it is known to us. It is other anthropogenic uses, like you cannot go for doing agriculture and all. It reduces the storage. Yes, obviously, once if it is coming in, that's all. You cannot send it out. So abandonment of supply of wells. Yes, continuously your all wells will be abandoned because you won't use the water continuously. The wells will become abandoned over a period of time. Coastal ecosystem is sensitive to salinity changes, red tides, fish kills, loss of seagrass, destruction of coral reef. All these are the cause behind the changes of this problem. You see, you have a lagoon system. This is a reef. This is seawater, and you have this is one island they have taken and studied. So it is a picture of island how this is going to be affected. What is the relation between the freshwater and saltwater in oceanic island aquifer? What is the relation it is? Normally, the ocean islands are more permeable. The ocean islands of the aquifer are more permeable and is surrounded by all sides of seawater. They only the atmospheric water is the only the source of water for this lagoon, and no other way for the other water which is coming here. So we have to be whenever rain comes, we have to tap the water. Like in Andaman, they depend for the whole year only the rainfall, but the rainfall amount is high, around 3000 millimeter per year. So that is the God's gift in the island regions. Freshwater lens normally formed above the dense salt water due to radial movement of ground. Freshwater lens, this is the radial movement of water. If the pumping is more, the fresh, seawater wedges will come in. If the recharge is more, it has to be 1 is to 40 times more. Then only this will give the pressure to go down. And this is another real scenario that seawater is here. When you pump the water, you see you will be able to get, even though this is the water level, because of the pumping, the water level has gone down. Wherever the pumping is there, the cone of depression which you can notice. If you continuously pump the water, once this will come, this will come, this will come, and slowly, once if seawater is included, you cannot push the seawater back into the sea. That is the another big issue in the coastal tract or the islands with respect to the freshwater and salt water is concerned. And the relationship, salt water will rise as a cone when you pump the water and enter into the well due to heavy pumping in the island. We have to avoid this problem in the island. Well should be designed for a minimum withdrawal. You cannot allow a person to, take water much from the well. So that you have to define. You have to define certain level, that this is the level at which you can pump the water. Otherwise, you have to stop pumping. Otherwise, you know that the collapse will happen. The infiltration gallery and horizontal collecting wells can be designed for this purpose. And this is again the another scenario of seawater, saline water. Wedges are here and pumping well is here. Land surface water table is maintained on above the surface of sea level, but continuous pumping and the cone of depression will come. Most of the diagrams are representing how the seawater intrusion happen. So salt water, brackish water, it is a mixing water. So this is lateral intrusion. When you pump the water, what will happen? Salt water slowly will come in. So this is the situation in some of the cities, coastal cities, because of pumping in every house. You know that slowly this water is in. You see the wedges, when you pump, the wedges are very close to the pumping side. What is the prevention of seawater intrusion? How you are going to prevent? Continuous pumping operation should be stopped for tapping fresh water in the coastal region. Cement covering the purpose of road. You should not cover the road, aerodrome, stadium nearer the coastal region. This will not permit the water, fresh water, to penetrate down to the surface to reach your water table. By rearranging pumping pattern in coastal aquifer, also useful to check seawater intrusion instead of constructing bore wells. To control seawater intrusion, the obvious method is recharging freshwater continuously. That is the only way to escape. And this is another diagram. You see, if you continuously take the water, the wedges will come. If you recharge the water, the wedges will go. You see, you continuously pump the wedges which is coming inside. Once if you recharge, the wedges goes. The seawater goes inside. Construction of artificial subsurface barriers in the coastal region prevents seawater intrusion. You have to have continuous artificial recharge, recharge stations in the coastal region. Maintaining several shallow wells, horizontal gallery, and collector wells all along the coast is better than few deep wells to prevent seawater intrusion. Land development by using sand, gravel, and pebbles all along the coast also will increase the infiltration of rainfall into that region. So, this is how we can prevent the seawater intrusion. With this, the lecture is come to an end with respect to the relationship between the fresh water and salt water in the what is that lagoon area islands.